Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of If Marriage is Hard Work. Welcome back to the show. And in the house today, I have my wonderful sister, whom I will be introducing along the line. But yes, you are in for another wonderful show today. And thank you always for always joining us and always coming back to learn from us. I really, really appreciate it because you could have decided to spend your evening somewhere else, but you are here today. The goal of this show, the Married Talk Show, is we want the young adults to choose right, and we want the married couples to remain married. So you are in for another wonderful edition today. And please, in the comment section, kindly leave your name and where you're joining from. We would like to give you a shout out. And welcome back again. It's so good to see you. And thank you for joining us today. And back to my guest speaker, Mrs. Florence Karl-Ogwu. Thank you so much, Ma, for joining us on the show today. We really, really appreciate it. Okay, our guest speaker will be back. She's gonna be back. So while we wait for our guest speaker to join the show, please let us know where you're joining from. We would really like to give you a shout out. And to my people on Facebook, we would like to know where you're joining from. I know there is issue regarding not letting people that are not my friends to comment. But we'll be fixing that shortly, and you will be able to comment. Please let us know where you're joining from. We love you, and we appreciate you joining us on the show today. I'm trying to open up the comment section on Facebook. Yeah, we are good now. So, irrespective of where you're joining from, please leave us that in the comment section. We would like to give you a shout out. And my guest speaker is back. Yes, this is good. We can see you very well, Ma. Thank you so much, Mrs. Florence Karl-Ogwu. I really, really appreciate you. And thank you for honoring God in our life to be part of the show today. We want to learn from your deep wealth of wisdom. And that's the reason why we brought you on today, because we know we can't do it all by ourselves alone. And I pray that sweet Holy Spirit will help you, will direct you so that you speak
Amen.
to us today from your
Amen.
wealth of wisdom, abundance wealth of wisdom, and we will learn, and lives will be changed and turned around for good. So, for anyone that is joining Mrs. Florence Karl-Ogwu, she is a marriage coach, marriage counselor, relationship expert. Marriage and relationship is something that is very, very dear to our hearts. And we are in today to learn from someone that is seasoned. So open your hearts and you will be glad that you do so. I hope we'll have her back. Anyway, let me continue the introduction while we hope that she joins us back. Please, we need you to do something for us as you are sharing your name, your location with us. We also want you to please share this show on your platform, your Facebook, your YouTube. Don't be selfish. Let other people play. You will be surprised at the expense of lives you will be changing around by sharing, simply sharing this wonderful show on on your platform. Thank you so much, Ma, again, one more time for coming on the show. And
Yeah.
this is edition 39. To the glory of God,
Right.
I've been doing this for almost 10 months now. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I've actually had the privilege to bring about 37 guests
Awesome.
on the show here.
Awesome.
So you are guest number 38, even though the show is edition 39.
Yeah.
And we are so glad and grateful to God that you could join us today. We want to learn from your wealth of wisdom. Nothing is formal on this show. You are the one in charge. I'm going to ask you two questions, which I normally ask my guest speaker, and we'll let you dive in. and learn from your world of wisdom. So, ma, the first question I always ask my guests is, what do they think marriage is all about? And the second one is if they think marriage actually requires a hard work.
Okay.
And over to you, ma. We want to learn from you. And thank you again for coming on the show. And welcome to the show, ma. Over to you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's such a privilege to be here. So I actually get excited when I have to talk about marriage. I don't know. There's this excitement that I feel, and sometimes when I try to trace it, um, it's because I probably understand the importance of marriage in this part of the world.
Hmm.
Not in this part of the world, in this in on earth. I wanted to say maybe heaven and earth, like the importance of marriage on earth. I tell people a lot that, in fact, when you read the account of the scriptures and Jesus Christ is talking about his second coming, he keeps saying that he is coming as the bridegroom. He's coming to get his bride. So, I mean,
Hmm.
it may not be like a literal thing, but I like to say that marriage is so important that when Jesus Christ was describing his second coming, he used, and at least he used that example. Okay, so it's almost as though we are preparing. Marriage is a preparatory ground. I'll come to your two questions. One of the reasons I would say that marriage is a preparatory ground, I remember when I was going to get married, that's about 13 years ago, and my husband looked at me, my fiance then, and
Hmm.
then he said, Florence, do you want us to go to heaven? I didn't understand it. It was like, I said, oh, God, put the ring and let's move on. Um, but I began to understand because I discovered that to a large extent, you're going to heaven or not going to heaven may be a little bit, like a little percent dependent on marriage, as long as you are in marriage. So I'll leave that there. Maybe at some point I'll come to it. But I brought that all to explain one of the reasons I get excited. And I've been privileged to do this for a very long time
Hmm.
by God's grace. So, what is marriage? If I want to touch a bit on what I just said, I would say marriage is an institution that prepares you for the second coming of Jesus Christ. Well, you want to say, okay, how, but trust me, because marriage is that institution that teaches you most of the things that God expects of you. It teaches you patience, it teaches you endurance, it teaches what commitment is about. So that's why I will leave it there. Then I will also say marriage is a union of partnership. When the Bible said one would chase 1,000 and two will put 10,000 to fight. So it's a union of partnership that brings about progress. It brings about victory. It's the partnership. I mean, if well done, there are some partnerships that we do in parts.
Hmm.
We partner in parts, we partner in some things. But if we follow through the full partnership that marriage comes with, then I tell you, that's the one I'm talking about. So marriage to me, it's partnership, is the coming together of two people that are ready to conquer the world.
Hmm.
Yes, two people that are ready to conquer the world. Trust me, there are a lot of things you can do if you are married. Now, if I was typing, I would have used that word if you are married in a capital letter. So everybody can be married, but only few people are married.
Hmm.
At some point, we'll touch on that too. If you are really married, you will see that marriage is a partnership. So these are some of the ways. I'm sure at some point during the conversation, we will explain more. And of course, what is marriage? Marriage is also an institution where you enjoy the beautiful things of the flesh, the ones that are permitted.
Hmm.
Beautiful sex, beautiful sex. I mean, amazing intimacy, companionship, and the likes. So I put that one last because I know that marriage is first of all unto God. So if you
Hmm.
notice what I said first, and then I set this one last, doesn't mean it is less important. Okay, it's also very important. Intimacy in marriage is very important. All right, it's extremely important. Maybe at some point in our conversation, I'll come to that. And so the second question is, do you think marriage requires work? If I get the second question directly,
Hard work.
clearly, do you think marriage requires hard work?
Mhm.
Mm. So I would like to liken it to a farmer that purchases a land and decides to he doesn't want to go hungry. He wants to plan for the days of famine, and so he decides to maybe plant cassava.
Mhm.
Don't forget, he already bought the land.
Mhm.
He bought the seed. I mean, I happen to be a farmer's daughter, so I know that you need to plant this stick, the cassava stick, right? And so
Mhm.
he has that already, and then he plants it. Say give and take, cassava may take about 8 months or thereabouts to grow. I'm not sure. It's been a while. Um, and so for those 8 months, he just goes to bed,
Mhm.
and then comes when it is probably 8 months to uproot or harvest his cassava,
Wow.
especially because famine is very close. People are going to be hungry. So he has cassava. Trust me, when he gets there, his cassava would have been eaten up, overshadowed by weed and every necessary thing that goes, that's the land attracts. That's what happens when you don't work. Don't forget, we have different kinds of work. So for that man that knows what harvest is about, that is looking forward to a beautiful harvest, that is looking forward to the benefits of that cassava. At that point, clearing the weeds, weeds are unwanted plants, right? Clearing the weeds and chasing rats and rabbits away from that his cassava won't be so much of a big deal. The goal is more important, so he does it excitedly. I don't know if you're getting me. So yes, he sees the fact that he's working. I like to remember when we were actively in farming. My dad plants his yam, and at that point, as a young girl, I used to feel very tired to follow my parents to the farm. I'm like, why are you stressing me? Why do I have to go to the farm? So the farming thing has not entered my body, but my parents had understood it. They were so much into it. And then I would see my dad knowing that when it is time to harvest that tuber of yam, the size is usually very exciting. He's usually so I see the energy, I see the excitement he uses to clear the land, the weed. The excitement used to confuse me. I said, but this is work now. Why are you doing this work excitedly? I mean, you should pretend as though you are not working, because I was doing that. I didn't understand, just like some of us may not understand marriage. So we hide as though we are working. We are not working. Or we run away from that work because we think, the work wants to kill me. So back then, because I didn't understand it, I would I would pretend as though my leg is paining me or my hand is paining me. I can't hold the cutlass. But my dad, even if he had fever that morning, my dad will gladly enter the field and clear. My mom would do the same thing. And I've always wondered, what is motivating these people to do this work? Apparently, I saw it as work with a negative understanding, but they saw it as work. You see, you see the two different ways I mentioned it. I mean, one is work. When you are work, it comes with the negative energy. It comes with this displeasure. I'm tired and all of that. But the other one is work. The other one comes with the fact that ah, I have to do this work so that I can reap the harvest. So you can see that he that is wise will not choose. So you can have two different people saying, "Oh, is marriage hard work or not?" And one person is saying, "Work. You don't want to kiss somebody. You work to say yes or to agree to the relationship or to toast or to ask the lady out. You will work to win the heart. You work, and then you will now work to sustain the process again." It's okay to see it that way, but it's also okay to interpret it as though if I went that far to talk to a lady or to accept the proposal of this man or to go out of my way to use all my poetic whatever prayers
Hmm.
to woo this lady, and I have gotten her, I think it is okay to sustain the relationship. Interpretation.
Hmm.
The same work, the same thing, but different interpretation. I trust the Holy Spirit to reveal more as we go. So yes, work is required in marriage.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's such a beautiful illustration, ma. Yeah, we lost our guest speaker again. This is the network from our guest speaker. I believe God that our guest speaker will be back. So why I wait for my husband to join us on this show, why we wait for our guest speaker to see maybe they can join us back. I will want my husband to pick it up from there and share with us his own perspectives about this beautiful work in marriage, if marriage is actually a hard work. And before then, I think I will have to go on a short break. And by the time we are back, we will have our guest back. Thank you. Please stay tuned.
As my father would say, Talodabi, Talodabi, oh Lord. Yes. Talodabi, Talodabi, oh Lord. Talodabi. Glory, honor, power to the Lamb of God forever. Amen.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the show. So while we wait for our guest speaker, Mrs. Florence Carl, to be back on the show, I have my husband here who is going to be fitting in and actually share his own wealth of wisdom with us if marriage actually requires a hard work. Thank you, Dr. Sean, for coming to the rescue.
Love to rescue anytime.
So, our guest speaker, Mrs. Florence, was trying to explain to us the good work that marriage requires, and she illustrated with a farmer that plants seed and just leave it without coming back. They now came back after months expecting something, but she said marriage requires constant work,
Yes.
and it depends on the eyes that we view it from.
What she's okay about.
So
Yeah.
we have her back.
Mm.
Anyway, I'll have our guest speaker back on the show.
Right.
Thank you, Ma. Welcome back.
Wow.
Yeah, so I decided to draw my husband in.
Ah,
Mm.
God bless you, sir. Nice meeting you.
Thank you so much, ma. I really
Yes,
love the
yes.
idea and the concept of marriage being put on the same platform as a farmer and just walking away for 8 months. And I was like, I can't wait to
Right.
hear where this story ends. This man is not going to get anything when he gets back.
Oh my goodness.
But
Oh
thank
my
you so much
goodness.
for what you do. I appreciate you. You can go for it,
Thank
please.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
please
Thank
go
you.
ahead, Ma. Mm.
All right. Once again, I apologize to everyone. I don't even know what's happening. Yeah, so I was trying to explain what happens when you don't take care of what you have taken so long. So I had to divide it into two to say that there's a mindset that goes with this. The first mindset is the fact that, oh, marriage is a lot of work. And that's why some people, I mean, I have been a therapist for a while, and you hear people come in saying that I'm so stressed, I don't have the drama. They call it drama. I don't have the drama for marriage. Actually, what they call drama is work.
Mm.
Work that they don't understand, right? Work with the way, I mentioned that if I was typing, I will use that word as a capital letter with a scary emoji, right? That's their interpretation of the work. Marriage is a lot. Sometimes maybe because of the experiences they saw, not they had. Maybe their parents, they saw the way marriage was. Perhaps, so if it's the woman, perhaps she grew up as a girl that saw her mom slave through the marriage. And she's saying that, okay, I can't do this like my mom. I guess she probably saw her mom wanting to achieve a lot of things, but ended up not achieving any of those things. I mean, I've seen people saying that marriage will tie you down. It's part of it, it's part of the work because you have to literally do everything and then you don't have a life. So people see that as the works. Okay, I'm not even ready to do all of that. Then we have the other set of people that sees the work aspect of marriage to say, no, it may sound hard. It may come with the spelling hard, but no. So I just want us to have an understanding of the work in marriage so it doesn't distract us. All right. So when you understand that it is not that kind of work that comes with that serious spelling of HARD, hard work. Okay, it is the one that's when you put the Holy Spirit as the center of it, you understand you are like that farmer that is excited about the size of the cassava or of the yam, and then you are willing to do anything to protect it. You are willing to do anything to remove the unwanted plants because the big picture is what gets you excited. So you don't even see the number of times you need to hold the cutlass and cut away all of those things. In fact, sometimes even if you mistakenly cut your leg, you don't see the blood. You are more excited about what that's the reward. It's the reward is bigger than whatever it is that. So that's I mean the level of sacrifices you're determined to make for your marriage, the commitment is because you know that at the end of the sacrifice is bliss, is bliss. Okay. So if you give it that interpretation, I'm sure you will apply yourself to marriage. Now, let's come back to why most people really do not want to apply themselves, or why most people do not even want to get involved with marriage at all. I mean, because I've worked with a lot of women, I touched a bit on that, but I think it's one thing that we should really emphasize on a bit to say that why do people think that the work in marriage is something they don't have the capacity to do?
mm,
Number one is because of the interpretation they give to it. And number two, I think social media does a lot of harm sometimes to the marriage institution. Now, I say that with the level of information I have. I haven't been in this field for quite some time. In fact, as I speak, I have issues on ground and all of that. And when you can trace most of those things to the microwave kind of marriage we see online, you just see people come and flaunt what is working, not showing that, oh, work has gone into it. So I think at the beginning of the show, you talked about the green grass. So people see the green grass and people do not understand that only a grass that is nurtured remains green.
mm,
Only a
mm,
grass that is watered. People don't talk about the watering process. People just bring out. So when you see a grass that is green, it is either it is synthetic grass. Is that the word? Like the fake grass,
mm,
or it is the grass that was watered. In fact, still being watered.
mm,
But because we just have the idea of, oh, what sometimes what we see online, and then we just think we can import it. And so when we now get into marriage, we see some things that require certain ingredients or certain things that requires a marriage to work, like the need for commitment, like the need for effective communication. We didn't, I mean, it's as if you didn't tell us this part though. Like we didn't know this was in the curriculum. What's communication? We just saw a green grass and we can just dive into this. So that's why most people just think, oh, it's not working, and then we'll step out. My husband and I were discussing some time ago, and I said, I fear for. In fact, we're blessed with three biological kids, and I'm looking at the time they are going to be getting married, and I'm like, wow, we need to just do our best to impact a lot into them, and then just let it spread like that. Because when I see what is happening, I mean, we have people that are saying they're not interested. They're not interested in making it work, and that's why we try to model our own marriage too. We show our struggles, which is the work parts, but we show how we enjoy the process. We are working. We don't, it's not a negative kind of work. We show how we disagree sometimes and how we sit down to listen to each other.
You were making a very important point before the technical glitch, and I want you to just expand on it a little bit. There's a lot of attack on marriage nowadays. Some people don't even want to go into that institution because of what they're saying. A lot of issues. I want you to emphasize a little bit, how do you model your marriage to help a lot of young adults or people that have even been married for years, either to encourage them to stay married or to encourage the one that just trying to get into it, to show them that it's a beautiful institution, and also people that are struggling in it. A lot of people are in marriage with a lot of questions in their head. So how do you model your marriage to really encourage people that we are in this journey together and we're all learning together and we can definitely make this thing work?
Thank you, sir. So you model from your place of strength and vulnerability, because we need to understand. I have always told people, in fact, we have some of our proteges that come around and they literally leave full when they go. While they are seated, we probably would have disagreed like one or two times, and then we move on, because we're trying to let them know that part, that these are two different people coming from two different backgrounds. My husband grew up in an amazing background. My own background had drama. So we're coming together from two different places, trying to merge, trying to understand. The 3 months counseling, premarital counseling will not give everything now. So we have times that we will step on each other's toes, not because we want to be intentional about it, but because we are blind. We have blind spots on that, so we just mistakenly step on it, not because we just intentionally want to do it. Okay, so we have time. So we try to model our vulnerability. We also try to model our strength. That's how to do it, to let people know that yes, there is actually a path to disagree and quickly agree, using the scripture that the knife should not fall with anger inside of you. In fact, for marriage is a different thing entirely. So when we consistently say that and do that, at least with the little community we have. Now, we may not be able to do that to everybody, because for instance, for us, Not everybody will come to our space. Not everybody will come to our house. Not everybody may necessarily have access to us. But anytime I have the opportunity, like I'm saying this now, I know I'm speaking my truth. So I am glad with what I have done inside, so that when I'm talking, I know it's my truth. My daughter can overhear me and know that mommy is speaking her truth. That yes, we model by showing people that there is time where you guys will disagree, but the time you disagree should not be longer than the time you come back to agree. Disagreement in marriage should last only for a while, and then you guys will come together to move on. So I think that's how let's model through our strengths and our vulnerability. I'm sure that will help. So I don't know if we can take another questions, or I just
Yeah, let's take this
We
one.
have so many questions, ma. I think we
yes.
have like four.
Help.
This one is from our long-time viewers. She wants to know how to manage a partner who does not appreciate no matter what the wife or the husband do. So this can go both ways, ma. Thank you, ma.
Yeah, either the wife or the husband. Yes, there will be people, there will sometimes be partners who do not appreciate the sacrifices made. Holy Spirit, help me. There are two ways I want to address this. The first one, I want to appeal to everyone. Whatever level of sacrifices you make in your marriage, you don't do it to expect it from the person you're doing it from your partner. You don't do it to expect dividends immediately from your partner. So to say that when you guys have issues, you don't begin to outline the level of sacrifices you have made over time. It kills the potency of the sacrifices you have made. Now, I'm saying this to say that you don't make sacrifices and put down a list. Today, I decided to drop $20,000 because my partner needs it for something, and I denied myself from buying this beautiful bag. Just to be on record, though, I sacrificed. So the day something now happens, you go back to that list and say, after I sacrificed $20,000, what am I trying to say? I'll come back to there. So I'll create the two angles to this, that for us to really do marriage right, we don't have to keep note of the sacrifices we have made. It is as though if we really believe that the two have become one, it is as though you are doing it for yourself. So you have crossed that part. It's not a boyfriend and a girlfriend. You are already in marriage. So in marriage, it's as good as you doing it for yourself, right? So because that's the concept of one. So there is no me sacrificing for the marriage and then the other person. Let's get that right. It will manage expectations and it will help our heart. Now, for literally to say that, but I at least, even if it's appreciation I should get, again, we'll take it to the foundation. These are not cases you just address at once, because you are not the problem. Now is the partner. So we don't know the number of things the partner is dealing with. Did the partner grow up in an environment or in a background where they don't do so much of appreciation? I mean, you'll be shocked how this happens. Nurturing is very critical, except there are other things. But if it's just the fact that he does not appreciate your level of sacrifice, in quotes, taking it to another angle now, apart from my first explanation, your level of sacrifice, no matter what you have done, please check, how did he grow up, or how did she grow up? Don't think this thank you thing is common with everybody. Some people don't even recognize that you are doing something special, let alone acknowledging it. Okay, so you want to find out if it's this person's not nurturing, okay, or his nature. We talk about nature. Nature talks about personality types and the like. There are actually certain personalities that are not expressive. They may appreciate, but they may not voice it, and we need to understand that. My husband happens to be a phlegmatic, a melancholy, that he can tell me he loves me 100 times in his mind and not say it. Now, I had to literally tell him, me being the vocal one, I said, you can't love me in your mind and expect me to be excited.
You have to say it.
And so I need to make demands again, because I'm already in marriage. I need to do all I can to make it work. I don't have to be keeping record. That's how you didn't tell me I love you. That's how you didn't bring out the seat for me. I will tell you. So that's, I mean, again, we're not dating, we're in marriage. So I need to make demands constructively. All right. So I discovered that he was not being wicked. He was not just in his nature. And he didn't learn it. What did I do? I said, I think for this thing, for going to the market. In fact, there was a day I told him I have 3 children and I had them through CS. Kaya, tell me thank you. Don't tell me
Thank you.
as if I didn't know what I was going to do to me. I had to demand it. The guy laughed. The guy said, you know what? It didn't even cross my mind. Thank you. And I would have been somewhere thinking that after I gave you 3 beautiful children through CS, you can't even say thank you. I mean, that's sacrifice now if you want to look at it. So, I mean, for that person that asked the question, just check. Make peace, like I said, the first one, but switching to this other side, check if it's your partner.
Oh man,
Yeah.
man, that was getting really beautiful.
Very wonderful.
I want to break it down in 3 different ways. Hopefully,
Okay.
she's able to get back and then get back into it. Number one thing is people appreciate differently.
She's back.
Oh, she's back. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I really want her to hit on that.
I
Sorry, go
don't
ahead,
even
man.
know.
Go ahead.
Yes,
please.
yes.
Oh no.
Okay.
Okay. While we're
Okay.
waiting for her,
Mhm.
people appreciate differently.
Okay.
Some people want to hear that word,
Word of
thank you.
affirmation.
Thank you.
Okay.
Whereas there's some husband, when they putting money on the table is great, but it's not just by putting money on the table. Some husband are gonna go as far as getting your car ready, helping you to do housework and doing different kind of things, and that's their way of saying thank you. But now, if you are receiving or you're expecting to receive thank you in a different way from your spouse, please teach your spouse. Like this woman
Teach in
said,
love.
teach in love. Thank you.
Okay.
Teach in love is very important. Like this woman said, now she was expecting to hear thank you, and she had to tell her husband, I gave you 3 different beautiful kids through C-section. Couldn't you just say thank you? Because she was expecting to hear it. So you can definitely teach your spouse in love to say, hey, Kayode, I want you to say, when you say thank you to me, I appreciate it. So please say more of it. That shows me that you are paying attention to me and you appreciate everything I'm doing for the family.
So this goes both ways.
It goes both ways. It's the same thing too. When your wife cooks for you, you want to say, oh, thank you for the meal, because she has spent a lot of time in the kitchen. She has gone to the market or to the store to get some things. You want to say thank you. But again, if words is not your way of saying thank you, if it's a different way, 2 of you have to be on the same page that this is how I want to be appreciated. So you can definitely teach your spouse how you want to be appreciated.
Okay.
I think she's back now. Let's try to add her back, but that's a very important point that she's trying to make.
I don't know. I've been trying to use different devices. Like
no worries. We're getting the point. We are definitely getting the point.
The discussion is entering my body that some yes.
I think that energy is shutting the network now, but we'll hold it together. Go ahead, Ma, please.
I'm telling you. So I think it's important for us to know that it's okay to communicate these things and to find out if our partner, and we'll say, oh, but I've been married to him for some time. I mean, it's possible that he didn't grow up learning or she didn't grow up learning how to appreciate. I mean, there are actually some men too that will pay the fees, the children's fees, and they just expect you to say thank you. But you just think it's their duty.
Oh no. Okay, we're there again.
Yeah.
We're there again. I think the basic point on this one, before we move into another question, is please, it's important for everybody to appreciate the other partner.
Yes.
I mean, it's tiring, it's wearing when you keep doing something and it seems as if your partner is not seeing you. Please, if you're a husband on this show, try to appreciate your wife for little things, for big things. You can even ask your wife, what do you think I can do for you to make you feel that I appreciate you for the things you're doing? Then the person can say, I want you to say it. Or I want you to help me clean the house every Saturday. Or I want you to help me buy this thing from the market. Whatever thing is okay for you to ask your partner, say, what do you think I can do for you, I can say to make you feel that I appreciate you? Then you tell your spouse, and then your spouse tells you, and 2 of you be on the same page that this is how we want to. The way I love to appreciate my wife might be different from the way another person wants to appreciate their wife. But what works for your marriage, you have to find it between 2 of you, and then make sure that you're doing it. Again, if you are the one expecting it in love, perfect. If you are the one expecting it,
Mm-hmm.
please make sure you sit down, find a good time to have that conversation. Maybe when you see two of you are laughing and everything is calm, and just quickly slip in that conversation and have the conversation so that two of you are on the same page. That somebody likes you to hold her hand when you are walking together. That's the way for her to know that, oh, he sees me, he loves me, and he appreciates me. Then do that as a man, because it is your marriage. You can say,
and you have to make it work.
And you have to make it work, definitely. So hopefully we're able to walk away with something in that. I know we have a lot of questions.
So you were talking about find a good time. So are you saying that every time is not the right time for you to have a discussion?
Oh no, every time is not the right time to have. It depends on the type of conversation you want to have. Say, for example, a man just got back from work, drove from island to mainland or whatever place, and is in the traffic and is tired, and he got home, and you are telling him you want to have a word with him. He said he's not there at that point. So you want to find a good time. I mean, you know your spouse better. You want to find a good time to have a conversation with him or with her, so that two of you are on the same page. Again, remember, your spouse is never your enemy. Your spouse is not your enemy. The devil is your enemy. So this is somebody God has put in your life to help you
to do marriage,
to do life together. So we need to find a way to do life. You are every day of your life. You will be finding that way to do life together,
to succeed together,
even after 50 years.
Conquer the
world together, definitely.
And to love together.
So you have to travel life together. You don't want to leave her behind. You don't want to leave him behind. You have to journey life together. So every day we need to continue to have the conversation. How do we work together? It's definitely very important for us to have that conversation, to walk our life together perfectly. Very important. And I know she's right back now.
Our guest speaker is back. But I want us to move to the next question. The first one is from Marcus Olumide, and there is another one from Mrs. Omotolashe. Marcus says, how can a couple resolve crisis in marriage? Mrs. Omotolashe says, what is the most effective way to resolve conflict in marriage without damaging the relationship?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well, ma'am.
All right. So, how do you resolve conflict in marriage, or what's the most effective way to resolve conflict in marriage? The first thing for you to know is that conflicts will always arise in marriage. So I think that will help. Sometimes people are not able to manage the presence of conflict. They just think, oh, wow, maybe your marriage there's just something extremely different about your marriage. Maybe there's a problem. No, what I mean is, of course, conflict means something is not sitting right. There's a problem. But what I'm trying to explain is, some people thinking that or feeling ashamed about it, that's why they don't talk. They just think, oh, maybe my marriage just has a special problem. So conflict will always arise in marriage. So that's the first thing you make peace with. And then the second thing is to understand what triggered it. You can't effectively resolve a problem that you don't know how it started. All right. So what brought about the conflicts? That's another thing. Okay. So how did we get here? What exactly is the conflict? What is the issue at hand? And what happened? What triggered it? What brought about it? It is okay for you to be very intentional about knowing what exactly, because the fastest way to resolve a problem is to know what the problem is and how the problem came about. Then discussion. I think couples do not know that they can have constructive discussions. It's okay for you to sit down and talk about it. So if you try these steps, and you say, oh, these are probably steps that I know, but the application is different. Some people just have this for the sake of knowledge, not applying it. If you are able to follow through with some of these things we've talked about, and then when you are having communication or conversation, listen. Practicing active listening helps in resolving conflict. Now, you listen not to defend, not to respond, but to understand. You listen from the place of empathy. Empathy says, I am putting myself in your position. I am just trying to see things your way. Some people come to the conflict table with an already made answer.
Hmm.
Conflict will not be resolved like that. When you have a list of that thing that your partner has done wrong. So you don't come to the table of conflict resolution with a list. You don't
Hmm.
come. It means you already came with your mind. So you come empty. So talk from the heart and then respond from the heart. You don't come with a prepared response. So that's why you listen to understand where the person is coming from. You listen from the place of empathy. You listen to resolve it, not to defend it. I'm
Hmm.
sure some of this can help.
Thank you so much, Ma. Um, we have some other questions. I'm going to match two questions so that that can give us a little bit of time. So this is from Esther Temitayo. And the question is, how can we keep romance alive in marriage after years of marriage? There's another one.
How can we do what?
How can we keep romance alive
All right. All right.
in marriage after years of marriage? Um, then there's another one from another person talking about what are the most vital conversations to strike in a relationship. So if we can, I think we can match the two together. Uh, that will just give us more time.
Okay. I'll take the first one. I'm not sure I got the second one clearly, but when it's time to take it, probably you'll just um reiterate. Let me take the first one. How do you keep romance alive in marriage after years of marriage? Hmm. I like that because I like to describe myself as a certified lover girl. So romance is something that I'm really passionate about.
Hmm.
Because I think that romance is to marriage almost what blood is to the body. I mean, romance is one of the things that keeps the marriage alive. And then it has to be a deliberate action, especially when you've been married for some time. So I'll first of all like to tell couples, grow in marriage into yourself, not out of yourself. Grow old into yourself, grow old together, and then in consciously begin to see the newness in yourselves. I think that's where, because the enemy of romance in marriage, especially marriage that has been for a long time, is familiarity.
Hmm.
So try as much as possible. You see, if you listen to me, I have been consistent with the word intentionality. Nothing happens on its own except you are intentional about it. And that's the truth. It's like, oh, I want to pass this exam. So I read towards it. I intentionally study because I want to pass the exam. That is intentionality. I mean, it won't happen. The chaotic nature of life alone takes away the romantic views from marriage. I mean, you're too busy. That's why you won't say, I love you, you won't buy flowers, you
Hmm.
won't do all of that. Because now we have kids, we're taking care of kids. How can I be taking care of three kids and you're saying, I love you? I know now, I know you. So it's not you, it's life, because we are always trying to chase something in life. We're always trying to, to do something. That's why it has to be an intentional and a deliberate attempt. So be deliberate about it, that this is what you want, and then try as much as possible not to get familiar. Try as much as possible to put in some routines that will help. For instance, you can still do date nights. You can still look beautiful. I tell ladies that you are married, you've been married for some time does not mean you just wear things that three people can use at the same time. You wear clothes that they can still cut into 10 and 10 people can use the same clothes. Like, I'm not saying you dress all revealing, but still dress to attract. I mean, he saw something the day he saw you. I mean, the day he got married to you, the day he got attracted to you. I'm not saying it's all about the physical, but we know that it is the physique that will first of all attract before they see the brain. All right.
Hmm.
So think about how what she saw or what he saw before she came to you, before he came to you, and try as much as possible. You may not get 100% of it, but still look presentable. The same thing with the guy. I hear some men saying that, oh, when it comes to keeping romance alive or looking beautiful or looking presentable, it's the woman's thing. No, she still wants to see that very cute man, not the pot-bellied man now. He still
Hmm.
wants you to keep clean. Some people get married and they just leave themselves. They don't take care of themselves. Maintain hygiene. Hygiene is very critical in
Hmm.
romance.
Hmm.
Hygiene is very critical because as the two of you grow, a lot of things has happened. I mean,
Hmm.
your partner may not be able to stand much order. I mean, if you understand what I mean, they may not be able to stand you not looking clean and the likes. So maintain all of these things, and then, like I said, you take yourself out. Still try. You don't need all the dollars, all the pounds, all the naira to really take yourself out. You can even go on a stroll. I remember yesterday, my husband and I we just entered the estate. We needed to do something. We could drive down, and I was wondering why the guy wasn't insisting that we walk down. It was later I understood. Like, you know what? Let's just go. And I realized that that simple walk was, there was something romantic, there was something calm about it. You
Mm,
know, we just left everything and then we took a stroll round. So you can go on a long walk with yourself, hold hands, no matter how long you've been married, learn to hold hands. So just take note of all of those things that you guys were doing when you started and try.
mm,
You may not get it 100% again, but you can at least get a reasonable percent and then go with that. Then talk consistently. Do things together that you think can bring about bonding. Okay, if you
mm.
think eating together, if you think, I mean, just some people is twinning. Some people like to twin. They like to wear the same thing. I mean, if that's just do something, and then you can make do with your love language too. When you speak your love language, I mean, it can be a way of making bringing in romantic vibes and the likes. So the second question,
Um, what are the vital conversations to strike in marriage? Vital conversations to strike in marriage.
vital conversations to strike in marriage. What are they? I think it depends on your marriage. It depends on the stage of your marriage. If I get that question correctly, what a vital conversation may be in my marriage may not be the same in your marriage, but maybe we can just have some very basic ones or general ones, and that would be consistently where's our marriage going to.
Yes.
Um, as funny as how long do we want to be married? It's like a conversation, and then you hear people say, "Oh, forever," and then people say, "Oh no, there's a deal breaker." Okay, so I think deal breaker. You can talk about what a deal breaker is in marriage. You can talk about where you see your marriage, how many years, what are your plans. You can talk about parenting. Yeah, parenting. How do we want to? Because parenting is one thing that, if not well managed, it shrinks marriage if not well managed, right? So people get into parenting and focus a lot on parenting, and they allow marriage to suffer. So you can talk about, oh, how many kids do we want to have, and how do we want to maintain having these kids, being great parents to our kids, and still be great lovers. Okay, finance also is something that you should talk about. Talk about finance. People grow into wealth, and some people may do well where they don't have a lot, and they're not able to manage plenty. Okay, you have people that probably go through the suffering. Oh, we are relocating, we are selling all our things, we are suffering, we are starting from the scratch together. They do all of that, but they're not able to now. They don't know how to be together when they now have wealth, when they now have so many things that they have. So when we have all the money that we desire, or some of the money that we really desire, how do we manage it? Or now that we don't have a lot, what are the things we can do and what are the things we can postpone? Okay, so finance is another thing that people should talk about. Sex is also another conversation that should come up in marriage. People don't talk about sex, especially as you grow in marriage. Things will change. The appetite for sex will change. Okay, so where are you now on the appetite level? Where are you now? When a woman is hitting menopause, the way she gets excited is probably not the same now. All right, so that should be talked about. I mean, when a woman is pregnant or she just had a baby, a lot of things. So, sex in marriage should also be one thing that people should talk about.
Thank you so much, Ma. We actually have two questions came in from two different people about finances, but we're going
Okay.
to merge it. The first one from Uluwatobi Adenariwo. How can we manage finances and make financial decisions together? There is another one from Adesimbo. Is it right for couples to have a joint account?
So, is it right for couples to what?
Have a joint account.
Okay, so let me take the first one. Thank you. Let me take the first one. How do you manage resources together as a couple? That's the question, right?
Yes.
All right. So I think I've touched a little bit on that, but just for me to emphasize more on finance. Um, it's okay for couples to know what works for them. Um, some people they just stick to one stream of income. Some people are open to various streams of income. Some people are, I mean, we just have different ideas when it comes to money and finances and the likes. But when it comes to these, there are different stages. The first one is making the money, the second one is spending it. So, in each of these, you understand people's strengths. As a couple, you know which person does more, whose job pays more, right? Whose business pays more. And then because the two of you have become one, you are a team. And that's what I tell people. You are a team. So for instance, I'm Florence Karl-Ogwu. We call ourselves Team Carl. So when you say you are a team, it means you're working together. So if for instance, I'm having issues. I've used like 3 different devices, and my husband is here trying to make it work. That's a team. Not saying, "Oh, I will just leave you to yourself." We are together, right? So, if you see the business or the job that is bringing in more money, you try and help that person. If it's your wife or your husband, you partner with that person to protect the process, help the process, and make it do more. Right? So feed what works when it comes to your finance. Feed what works while you look out for other channel. Because I mean, we all need more money. Everything is going up in many parts of the world. So you feed what works and you intentionally look at for what more business you can do. Then the second part is the spending. In every marriage, there's the spender, there's the saver. So identify who the spender is and who the saver is. In my own case, I am the saver, coincidentally. Or is it coincidentally? Maybe surprisingly. You would think that I'm the spender, but I'm the saver. I'm the one. I'm the one that will make sure, Holy Spirit, don't say, see, God, you know what, this thing, we don't need it now. And my husband is saying, opportunity cost. Even you do not see it again. And then he just buys. And money comes in, and then he's seeing this beautiful thing. And I'm like, so we need the saver, we need the spender. You don't also need to say so much that I believe in living life daily in marriage, in life, everything. And then you just keep postponing. And then when it's time to spend, you can't spend the way you should spend because you are old. But we don't also want to eat everything you have. So identify who does what. And there is one that to speak more in a season. There's a season in your marriage that you will need to save her more. And there's a season you will need to spend her more. So if you just do all of these things, it will help you with financing your marriage. These 2 things I've talked about. There will be a season where you need the strength of the saver. There will be a season where you need the strength of the spender. Those know who is who. In your marriage, like you see, we've identified our own. So we know who is who. Just identify that, and I'm sure it will help. What do I think about joint accounts? It's a personal thing. I try as much as possible to shy away from these things because we try to give couples the opportunity to agree on some personal things for them, because this agreement is not just something you say off the book. There are a lot of things that will be responsible for it. So if I say joint account is good and someone is listening to me and saying that from experience my partner doesn't do well, my partner goes behind me to do all of these things, if my partner knows that we have 10 million somewhere, he will or she will make, they have good reasons in counseling and therapy. When we sit down with them, people have good reasons why they think they don't want to do joint accounts, and you can't just come out to say you have to. So I would want to say that question is not one that I would just say outrightly. But then, do I practice joint account? Do I have joint account with my husband? Yes, I do. I do, because it is also helping me to preach and to get into that togetherness thing, that the two have become one. As long as I have my personal account, he has his personal account, we just feel, oh, let's have a joint account. And to make it very simple, we just tie it to certain things we need to do for the family. Okay, if you have assets, just put it inside. Like, we don't create too much structure around this, so it doesn't look like one person will. You understand? So let's just tone down a bit on the joint account thing, so that we don't make it. The reason we are asking so many questions about it is because we've heard so many things of maybe the person will now, close the whatever and run away with the money. There's no trust, or one person will one person is feeding the account more
Yeah.
than the other person. So maybe I put more into the account and my partner puts less, and my partner, when it's time to take, my partner takes more. You know those issues. So the first part is to conquer all those things and to see that we are one, right? We're one. We're not going through this individually. And then what works for you? And then tie it to something. Just say, okay, that's where we pay school fees from. If that's it, tie it to something. That's where we pay the next rent from. Or that's where we do vacation from. So when you tie it to this family kind of thing, it takes away the official look and the serious thing that makes people to run away from joint accounts. So yes, I do believe in it because I practice it, because I keep a joint account.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ma. I believe we have to bring you back on the show because we've not really uh milk the word of wisdom
Yeah.
that you have.
Yeah.
I've just
But
been
before
going off and on. What this device did to me today, I can't even believe myself. Like, I'm like, what's happening? But it is
yeah,
where.
thank you so much, Ma. We're going to round up with one question in two, as in two questions in one. This person sent a question about how can we cope with a nagging wife, and there is another one from YouTube that says, how do you handle a spouse? Oh, how do you handle uh how do you handle a husband that does not find anything interesting about the wife anymore? And there's
Hmm.
another person that sent the same question but in different pattern. How can we handle a spouse who does not say his wife sexually attractive anymore? It's still the same thing, right?
It goes anyhow.
It's
Yeah.
still the same thing.
Yeah.
A spouse that does not find the wife attractive anymore, or a man that does not see anything interesting about the wife anymore. Then there's another one. How do you handle a nagging wife? I think the three are intertwined, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can
So
put
then
all
we'll
of them
round it
Okay.
up
together.
from there.
Okay. Okay. So, how do you manage a nagging wife?
A nagging wife. Yes.
Yeah, I'm assuming that that's a very quiet husband, right? That probably, again. So let me just say this: when it comes to marriage and questions that surrounds marriage, there are no quick fix in answering, because if you say nagging, for instance, I would want to ask you some follow-up questions. I want to ask you how long you've been married. I want to ask you a lot of things. I want to ask you what your interpretation of nagging is. Like, what do you call nagging? Because sometimes when a woman is nagging, it's like a baby that has been talking and feels not well understood and decides to scream.
Correct.
For some women, what you call nagging is just their way of screaming to say, "Hear me, I'm saying something." And then she's saying, "Hear me, I'm saying something," and you're not hearing. And then she feels the louder she screams, the closer your ears will be to what she's saying. I mean, that may just be it. That's why I say it's not a very straight thing. Okay. Then another question I may want to ask. I mean, if you're listening, you are just probably taking note of these things and maybe you want to go and check, right? Another question will be, has she always been a nagging wife? How long have you been married? Did she start nagging from the day you got married to her? Or she was nagging in the relationship, or she suddenly started nagging? I think sometimes little questions may lead to the answer. I think if you answer some of the things, you may have the answer yourself. If she's not been nagging, um, if she didn't start nagging in the marriage, then maybe there's a disconnection. Is there something she's crying about? Is she finding fulfillment? Is she happy in the marriage? What have you asked her what happiness means to her? Have you been talking to her? Okay, because she's not here, you are the one here. So perhaps I should just address you. You understand? So this is like a one party counseling now, or questions now. So you are the one that's real. If she was here, I will say, okay, can you do more of talking than nagging? Can you do more? Because you miss a lot when you shout. You're not being heard. All right. So I would have said that to her, right? But she's not here. So for you, I would say, can you just answer these questions? How long has she been nagging? Is there something she's been complaining about? Are you the quiet type? Do you think she finds you not listening to her and she thinks the only way to get your attention is to shout? Apparently, shouting doesn't even make you hear her because a little of echoes. Okay, so can you just do us a favor so that we have great results? And if you have all of these questions, you can send me a DM. Let's take it from there. All right.
Mm.
So, not feeling. How do you handle a partner that does not find you, not finding? Okay, you don't find your wife attractive
Attractive anymore.
enough.
Mm.
So there's this senator in Nigeria. I don't, is it Nigeria? I don't know, but I saw the video some time ago that said if you think you are very attracted to girls in uniform, you can't take your eyes off girls that are always putting on uniform. They get your wife one. That was supposed to be like a joke and all of that, but I saw a lot of sense in it to say that it is your appetite. It is what you want, right? Sometimes when people go in marriage, trust me, I can tell you for free that when some women, especially some that were not, they don't have a lot of this knowledge and they're not wicked, they don't just know. All right, so they don't know that as they are being mothers, they have to intentionally be wives. They don't
Mm.
know that and you don't blame them. So it is okay to teach her. Have you told her what being attractive is to you? And don't start from when you dated. Because she doesn't probably have that shape again. So have you told
Mm.
her what you really want? Because a lot of things has changed. It was not all her body that changed. Her emotion changed. Psychological, our hormones has changed. Trust me. So women are not thinking about flat tummy or do this or bomb show. They're not thinking. Some of them are battling hernia. Some of them are battling a lot of things. And at that point, they're not thinking about all of these other things. But then that's why you are the support. You are there. Just help them. You can take her. You can explain to her what how you want her to look, but you do it with love and either you do it as if it's for our own good, not just for your own good. Even if at the end of the day it comes to you, all right. So have a discussion with her and buy her some of those things you would love to see. And use respect because the woman would not want to be body shamed or when you just say things like that, say it casually and then say it calmly and then introduce the things you like, take her out. So just make her your attractive lady. Make her since you are the one that wants to see it. Just try. As long as she's not, you guys are not dealing with, she will not listen to me or she doesn't. That's a different discussion entirely. But if you think she's someone that is teachable, someone you can help, just help. Don't sit down complaining. You want to see her beautiful. Help her be beautiful. Because trust me, I can tell you that the woman may be thinking about too many other things. Not seeing anything interesting. In her, if that is what this question is, when you don't see, can you help me with this last one, please?
Yeah, how can you handle a husband who doesn't find anything interesting about the wife and he
Okay.
gets
I mean, I
angry
think it's
over
almost the
everything?
same thing. Yeah, it's
Yes.
almost the same thing. Just switch it. It may not be the fact that he doesn't like anything interesting in the wife. Is the fact that maybe the interest is in the wrong place. Maybe you are shooting somewhere else and he desires something else. If you see the summary of all of these things, these three questions is communication. I think couples should go back to sitting down and talking. I recommend open day for every marriage. Open day is that day where couples sit down together. There are certain rules that govern the open day. No one gets angry. We say things, but constructively. Constructively. No name calling, nobody shaming, no personalizing anything. But can we just pour our heart and talk about our expectations, our dislikes, our struggles? So I would recommend open day will solve most of these issues. Open day will probably resolve nagging a bit, yes, but open day will do a lot with attractiveness. Open day will do a lot with a man that is not finding anything interesting in the woman. Just sit down and talk. And I recommend, depending on what your marriage is about and the consistency of these issues, you can start with 2 times a month. You can start with maybe the first Sunday of the month and then the last Sunday. So you begin it and then you review the last Sunday. You guys should just sit down. You can go somewhere and sit down. Say, this is open day. Can we talk about our marriage? I mean, you run a business. You have meetings with your partners. You have meetings with your clients. You have meetings even with your workers. But you don't have meeting with your spouse. Sit down. And when I say meeting, it doesn't mean that you guys just sit down and watch television together. I mean intentional conversations. I'm sure when you have all of these things, it will resolve all of these issues. And then you are able to hear from your partner. You hear what they have not been able to say. You also hear what they are not saying. You hear what they have been scared to say. And when they finally open their mouths to say it, you hear the other part of it that they are not saying. That's what you get when you have open dates in your marriage.
That's good.
Thank you so much, Ma, for the deep wealth of wisdom. And again, we have to bring you back on the show because the network actually short cycle us from getting milking your
Yeah.
wealth of wisdom. And I do agree that all my viewers at home, they want to see you back on the show.
Yes.
Well, we really, really appreciate you for the time you spent with us today. Thank you for the energy.
Thank you.
Thank you for the money because you spent your money to get the data to even come on the show to pour into us. We really, really appreciate you. Our time is fast spent. And well, my prayer, our prayer is that God, in His infinite mercy, will continue to uphold your marriage. He will uphold your home. He will uphold your
Amen.
family. He will uphold your
Amen.
children. And it will bring to
Amen.
pass everything that concerns you through Christ
Amen.
Jesus. And thank you
Amen.
to Uncle for allowing you to join us on the show because you could have decided to
You know, the
use
technical thing behind
with
the
all the
scenes.
technical things behind us.
Yeah.
We feel it even though we can't see
We
it.
feel it even though we can't feel
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
making it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could have decided to just sit down together, chill with this time. But
Yeah.
I don't have their time. But at least he made it a time.
Yeah.
He allow you to come out and share your depth of wisdom with
Right.
us. We really, really
Right.
appreciate.
Thank
And
you.
my viewers at home, they are sending in a whole lot of thank you, thank you, thank you message. Even though I can't cast everything here. Thank you, Ma. We would love to see you, Ma. And this is
Thank
where we're
you.
going to stop the show today. And to the viewers at home, thank you so much for making it a time to spend with us today. And sorry for the technical issue. We need your prayer. These are the things we face behind the scene. The devil is a liar. This
Yeah.
show will continue.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you so much for making it a time with us. And I hope you have a wonderful week. And this is your girl, Cecilia Howard. Until next week, when I come your way, I love you all. Have a blessed week and have a beautiful new month. Bye for now. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah.